All right, here we are. Welcome our viewers to Deep into the Shallows, the Iris and Jose project. Of course, I'm Iris, and with me is
Jose. And Iris, if it's okay with you, I think the viewers need a good solid recap of the ABCs of friendship.
that's right, we're doing the ABCs of Friendship Part 2.
Exactly. Part two. And obviously, if our viewers remember, we left off on E, but we're gonna recap A, B, C, and D.
That's right. If this is their first time watching our show, then they'll know. So you test me because you have the list. A,
Yep.
authenticity. Am I right?
Authenticity is
Be your
correct.
authentic self. Just show yourself. And if somebody's going to like you, they're going to like you. That's what you want in a friend, and you want them to be authentic. Be building trust. Building
Two out of
trust.
five. We're good. Yeah.
Yeah, trustful. And of course, trust is essential to any relationship, but friendship as well. You want to be able to trust your friends. C, communication. Big one. Big one. In fact, I think we'll probably do a show just on communication. What do you think?
I think we should. Yeah.
All right. And D is dependability. All right. It goes without saying, be there when people need you. Be there when you say you're going to be there. So those are the first four of the ABC, and we went the distance on this. We've got quite a few. We got chipped away at the alphabet. We didn't do the whole alphabet, but we've got some more. What's the next one? We're into E. Is that right?
Yeah, I think that's how the ABCs work.
Well,
So E we have is empathy, which is the
oh, that's a good one.
the ability to understand and share the feelings of others, strengthening emotional connection.
Wow. And it doesn't mean like feeling sorry for someone. That's sympathy.
Mhm.
Empathy is being able to stand in their shoes and just not saying, I know how you feel because I did this. You don't turn it into something that's you about you. Just be there for them. Just like we talked about last time. I don't need all the details. Just know I'm here. I feel you. I feel you. And just I hope we talked about that during our communication conversation because it's really being about a good listener. And when you're empathetic, you will listen to your friend and just, they're there, they're there, right? What are your thoughts on that?
No, I agree. I remember one time I had a friend, he went through a bad breakup. Well, it might have not been a bad breakup, actually. I don't know. It just didn't work out.
Oh,
And
a friend, eh?
it was a friend.
Asking for a friend. Okay.
He needed to express himself and he needed to share what was going on. And at the time, I didn't have a girlfriend. So I was like, I don't understand what happened. I can't relate to it, but I'm just happy you're getting it all out.
Good. Yeah.
And there's been times where I haven't been empathetic. I'll admit that. There's one time this one guy kept going on and on and on. And I was just like, all right, bro, she left.
Get
She's
over
not.
it. Okay, and maybe that's what he needed was a nudge. So maybe that's part of it too, because there are limits to our empathy as well. Be empathetic, but know the limit, right? You don't want them to wallow. You're there for them. All right. F? I'm doing the alphabet A B C D F and G.
F is forgiveness. So the ability to forgive and move past misunderstandings is vital for maintaining long-lasting friendships. And now let me ask you this. Has it ever happened to you like where you reached a point where maybe you can't forgive them, but you still want to maintain that friendship?
I think it depends on what you're forgiving them for, right? If they forget that you're supposed to have lunch with them and you're sitting there and they text you and they say, "Oh my God, I forgot. I got detained. I am so sorry. I forgot to text you. I didn't realize something." That, you did it one time, that's forgivable. If they do it two times, okay, strike two. Remember what the saying is, push me once, shame on you. You can't push me twice. You push me twice, shame on me. So it depends on how much you're willing to forgive, because there's also another saying that says, when someone shows you who they are, they leave them. And so if they're not prioritizing you, are they really your friend? You have to do that deep look inside that relationship. If it's something simple like that, if they forget your birthday, well, they're your friend. They're not your mother. Okay. It's okay. It's forgivable. Don't hold a grudge. They didn't throw you a birthday party. So what? They're your friend. How good of a friend are they? Did you expect that? Did you throw a party for them and you expect them to do the same? Well, you better let them know because they may not be the kind of person that reads those social cues. Well, what about you? Forgiveness.
Forgiveness, I agree. It also depends on what it is, that, I guess the offense that needs to be forgiven or not.
Yeah.
Um, but there's a few sayings that I've been hearing recently in my journey of life. It's you can forgive them, but you don't have to give them access to your
What,
life.
what does that mean? What does that look like? You can forgive them, but then you set like it's like a hegemonic practice, which is gatekeeping, right? Okay, forgive them. They're still your friend, but they're not a really like good friend. So there's levels to this friendship dynamic as well, right? Okay, good. Yeah. So they're an acquaintance then. Because really, if you're moving them into the friend zone, or they're in the friend zone and then you move them back into the acquaintance zone, that's okay. That makes sense.
And that's kind of what it could be, depending on what the offense is. Like, okay, you hurt me in that way. I do forgive you. Like, you're not a bad person. You were going through something. People may act a certain way because of certain situations. And so you could be like,
Say
look,
it, Jose. Like if they flirt with your girlfriend or they tell you your girlfriend's pretty, but they're trying to date her behind your back or they're texting, like those are different things. If they tell you to your face, like, wow, she's really pretty. If you ever break up with her, I'm going to date her. Like, that's weird, but
that's
forgivable.
questionable. And so I'd be like, look, I forgive you for saying that, but I don't want to hang out with you anymore. Like, that would
Really?
be,
You would like totally put him in the acquaintance zone and like you're not a friend in the friend zone anymore?
well, I'd be like, maybe I don't need to spend time with you, or you will possibly not.
Would you rather that they think it and not tell you, or that they think it, tell you, and then you can address it and correct? What would you rather? Because just
True.
wondering, maybe they don't tell you.
The truth is nice, but the whole like, oh, if y'all ever break up, that's a
Oh,
little unnecessary.
that's a
And
bit much, isn't it? Yeah.
and then that wouldn't be a friend right there. Like, why would you want something like that to happen if you want your friend to be happy?
Sure, sure. If you're really my friend, don't look at my girlfriend that way, right? Because then if we stay friends and I marry her, you're gonna be looking at my wife that way. Just
Mhm.
saying. All right, very good. Forgiveness. So yeah, there's a measure of forgiveness that comes with being a friend. Sometimes you slip, you say things faux pas, you put your foot in your mouth. If people have passive aggressive tendencies and they're your friend and they keep saying things that are very passive aggressive, like, oh my gosh, that is such a nice shirt. I didn't know they made it in that size. Those sorts of things. Then you have to call it to their attention, and if it persists, either they grow or they go. Just saying. All right. What's next?
G is go above and beyond. So being there for each other during tough times is crucial for deepening bonds. Sorry, I can't read sometimes.
For deepening bonds?
Deepening
Okay,
bonds.
yeah, yeah. So if your friend is in the hospital, that's not the time to say, oh, I'm going to give them time to heal. That's the time to say, which hospital? I'm there. For a real friend, you're going to go. You're going to go there. And there are friends that I have that do that. I live in Poteet. It's a little bit tougher. People know that I'm not right around the corner. So, I can say, like, I, if I were in town, I'd be there, but know that I'm lifting you up.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, those sorts of, that's when or they say, like, they call you and they're just absolutely, um, just destroyed by something that happened, like a breakup or a death in the family or something. then yeah, you want to be there. And not all your friends will be there. The friend that needs to be there will be there at that time, right? What are your thoughts on that?
No, I agree. I remember, I feel like today's the episode about breakups and how to help help our friends. But I remember a friend just called me and she was like, I don't know what to do. Like, I'm all alone. Like, we live together. And then she got on this whole rant, and out of nowhere, she stops and she's like, Jose, you probably don't care right now. Like, you're not even here. Like, what are you gonna do? And I was like, well, I'm here to listen. Like, I don't know what else I can do. Like, I'm not gonna drive all where you're at and comfort you. No, like I'm gonna be right here
And
and
if
I'll
it's a
just be.
female, it wouldn't be appropriate. I don't think that your girlfriend would appreciate that very much. Like usually people are vulnerable during that time, especially females. Like if it was a male friend and you say, "Hey man, I'll pick you up later. Let's go have some brews." Or if it, even if it's a female friend, like, "Hey, let's all meet at the bar and let's have some brews." But if you say, I'm coming to your apartment right now to comfort you," that's sort of coded language. You know that it is, correct?
But this was before I had a girlfriend. Like, what?
Okay, timing is everything. It's still a vulnerable time for a female, and it wouldn't be appropriate for that to happen. But you didn't, and you have discernment. But really, what does it mean to go above and beyond? Like, if it is their birthday, you're like, "Hey, it's so and so's birthday," calling all the other friends and saying, "Let's surprise them with this," right? That's going above and beyond, being the organizer of the party, um, that sort of thing. So, yeah. hmm
Mhm.
What other examples of going above and beyond?
I
Oh,
we didn't get a birthday cake for my friend, or like my friend didn't have a huge celebration. And so a few days after, because I was out of town, I told him happy birthday and I got a big old chocolate cake for him because he liked chocolate. And I thought that was nice. Like we all hung out, just caught up a little bit.
that's good.
Yeah.
That is good. Going above and beyond. Yeah, way to go. All right, so GH.
H is humor. A shared sense of humor can lighten difficult moments and bring joy to the friendship.
Humor. I
So,
agree. I
yeah.
agree. It's really important to have the same kind of sense of humor um, with your friends. And I think if you have different sense of humor, you probably are not going to be friends. Just
Yeah.
saying. Because they might think like, they might judge you, right?
Mhm.
There may be judgment. So what do you think about humor?
Yeah, humor, it's interesting sometimes because sometimes you notice it in others, like just very openly, or they have a dry sense of humor, and it's like, oh, that's not for me, or they're not really that funny, but they do have their moments, and so they might there might be some judgment when it comes to humor, and so when it's similar, that it really improves the connection because then you can just vibe and just know that you're gonna have a good time with that friend.
Yeah. And similar is good, but even if you one person has a dry sense of humor and the other one has, a very different sense of humor, which I mean, I don't know how many different sense of humor there are. We could ask the AI thing. Hey, little AI guy, how many different sense of humors are there? But as long as you can make each other laugh or can laugh in stressful times or laughing, humor is just really good medicine. And if someone gets you and they can make you laugh, that means that their energy makes you happy and it's healing. It can be very healing. I'll tell you, I was listening to a podcast on the way to a meeting, and it was actually I was going to be doing a training. And all the way there, the traffic was horrendous, but all the way there, it was saying, if you want to shift the energy and if you want to, do this, and it gave like a list of all these things to do. But the main one was, look, smile. Wherever you go, if you just smile intentionally in the morning, get up and smile because it releases all these endorphins into your body. Not only that, energetically, whatever it is that you're feeling will extend out. It extends out. like you would be amazed at how far your energy radiates out. There are certain people who have this chaotic energy, and you would cross the street to avoid that energy. You know, I do. Like if it's a scary threat, and your vagus nerve is pinging, then you want to avoid that energy. But if someone is, has that good, humorous energy, then people tend to gravitate towards their happiness and their joy. And when you can laugh in the face of adversity, then you can survive so much. It just really is a good survival technique to look at the bright side, laugh things off. I think there'd be a lot less shame in the world. I think there'd be a lot less, harm in playful conversations. Not saying that people should gossip, not saying that people should engage in harmful chismes. I think in Hispanic cultures, it's something people laugh at other people's expense. That's very different from, you know, laughing at a common thing you find. Laughing with you in Hispanic culture, a lot of it is laughing at you, making you the butt of the joke. That is very harmful. So we have to be careful with humor, don't you think?
No, I agree because we were talking about it in class today, actually, that because the student kept on saying something, and
Like
he was
what? Oh,
well,
you
he was
don't have to tell. It would be too telling. That'd be too personal, and the person would know. Go ahead.
well, they were like, okay, wants, like in Spanish is cosas que quieres, things you want, or it could be like quieres como I love someone, or whatever. And so one student was bringing up the fact that there's so many words in English that means more than one thing. And I think like, well, first of all, that's how it is in Spanish too, but
It sure is.
don't like that counter argument. And so I'm letting them talk, and then out of nowhere they start talking about like the grammatical rules that we have in English. And I just stopped them and I said, well, sometimes you might just need to repeat yourself if they ask what, like maybe they're not making fun of you. They really just want to understand you. And I felt like he kind of shut down. And then this other lady started explaining, like, well, yeah, that is true. Because, yes, we're in a culture that kind of, like, for some reason, just kind of laugh at people for messing up. And it's just like, oh, you said it wrong. Like, that's hilarious. But like even some Americans, I mean, they might do that, but realistically, the good ones, if you want to say it like that, the good-hearted people, they want to understand you, and if they laugh, it's because it's funny in the moment, but they're not laughing at you in like in a disrespectful way.
It's like you said something that was like a miscue that's funny. That's different from somebody saying it in a hurtful way, laughing in a hurtful way. All right. Do we have an I? Give me an I.
It is an interest. Common hobbies and interests can enhance the connection and provide opportunities for bonding.
Okay, it's true. You really, the sort of an essential is to have common interests. Otherwise, why are you friends? I think when it comes to friends that I'm really still close to, we have not just education, working in the education field and specifically adult education, but also common interest spiritually, right? Um, and when you have more than one common thread with someone, it is the seeds for a long friendship. Growing up together with people, you're going to very much like if you went to school with people and you're very much fans of, oh, let's say the national champions of your college, whatever, or Spurs, man, Spurs fans, go Spurs, go. Go Spurs, go. Or Wimbayana, man, I'm a Vic fan. That's a common interest that you can really, it rises above all other things that divide us is when we have these common interests. You go to church with people and you have church friends, you have a common spirituality. You may go to certain restaurants and you see people there, and so those are different settings where you're meeting and greeting people and maybe building a friendship outside of that. Because I know that I belong to some political groups, and every now and then I'll just invite them out for coffee. And that's how you extend that friendship and find out, is this going to work out outside of that setting? Is this person going to be more of an acquaintance, or are they going to go move into that friend zone to where, hey, now maybe we can go shopping together, maybe we can hang out, or I'm going to invite them to my home even.
Yeah.
So, your thoughts on that?
No, I think that's completely true. I remember, especially like in my early years at Howard, I had two coworkers and they would talk about the books they would read, and they're like, "Oh, are you gonna catch up? Or like, are you gonna continue reading? Or are you taking a break after this one?" And and I thought that was really cool. And even with our shows that we watch, sometimes our one coworker, he talks about how he wants to watch this movie, or he's really into Marvel, so he's gonna watch the next Spider-Man movie that's coming out.
Or
And
like
he's
Stranger Things or something? People would get into that Stranger Things, common thread, you know, crushing shows and stuff. Yeah.
some of my friends, they have like anime groups, like anime friends, just catching up on their animes and watching it together, hanging out, talking about it.
Oh, okay. So that is truly a thing that can build a friendship. That is a real common interests are really important, because if you don't have anything in common, it's tough to know what makes you friends. Going to school together, growing up together. A lot of people that I grew up together, they were related to me, right? So I went to school with somebody that I was familiar with already outside of school, and so I'd gravitate towards them to be friends with. It wasn't like of course, we had a common culture, a common family members. We were going to the same school. Beyond that, I'm not friends too much with people that I went to school with, except for my husband, who I ended up marrying because he was so awesome. Friend, moving him into the boyfriend zone and then the husband zone. Yo.
That's how it works.
So I think I is the last one, interest, right? But we skip way forward because there's a critical one that needs to be there, right? And it's not in our alpha. It's not in alphabetical order, but it's there.
So yeah, if you want to, if it's okay with you, we could jump right into R, which we have respect. And respect is valuing each other's differences and opinions, creates a healthy friendship dynamic. And and yeah, that's it.
Well, no, respect is truly very important. I'm glad this is a great way to wind it up, because we've got about a minute left. And I think it's a great way to wind it up, because all these things are threaded together. Whether you are being authentic, respect. Whether you are building trust, that requires a lot of respect. Communication, that's an arm's length agreement, a back and forth, a speaker listener based on respect. That communication, that dependability means you respect that person enough to be there. And then, what was E again? E, empathy. Empathy. Now that's one that you have to balance with respect, um, feeling with respect, without being offensive, because it may be like, oh, they just pity me. No, pity that does not require respect. That's actually opposite. So, well, not opposite, but empathy is much different. F was forgiveness. Yeah, that takes a lot of respect to come in and admit that you did something wrong and ask for forgiveness, but then also to, you know, not just let it roll and say, "Oh, it's okay." No, you have enough self-respect to come in and say, uh, I appreciate you came back and asked me, to forgive you. That you know what that sound is. And so having enough self-respect to mention, like, thanks for asking. I'm going to need a little time, but sure, we're still friends. Just give me a minute to get over my bad self. And then G is
Above and beyond.
going above and beyond. Of course, you got to respect somebody and have a lot of respect for people who go above and beyond for you. And then H, humor with respect. We got to temper everything with that level playing field of respect and interest. respect that other person's faith, respect that other person's, family, respect their interest. Don't make fun of the Spurs. If you're a Knicks fan, do not. You got to respect your friends' interests. Maybe they don't like, you know, De'Aaron Fox. They think that, he messed up. Maybe they do. But you got to respect him and say, it's all right. You got it. He's a Spur. You still got to respect him. And you're laughing, Jose. Is it funny? Is it ridiculous? What do you think about respect?
Respect is a great thing to have. Whether you have different viewpoints on certain things, it's good to just say, okay, like I acknowledge your side, but here we are going to agree to disagree and not have hateful comments after. Just agree to disagree. There's no need to be hateful or mean or just, you know, downright disrespectful.
Uh-huh. And with that, we'll say our closing thoughts because the goal here of what we're doing is awareness, not perfection, right? Awareness so that you can begin to improve. And when we notice patterns, we start gaining a choice in what we do. We're not just running roughshod. So the shallows, where most of our social life happens, when we take a look closely, we can learn a lot about ourselves and each other. All right. Well, thank you, Jose. I've enjoyed it. We'll see you next time, and we'll be talking hopefully about communication, if not some other fun topic. But we'll see you viewers next time. Thanks.